NHL records really fascinate me because there is just so many of them, and for the most part, records are held by Hall of Famers, retired players that aren't currently playing in the NHL, but there actually is a good amount of records held by active NHL players. I made a video like this months ago, and because I enjoyed making that one so much, today I wanted to do a part 2. And there actually is a lot more that I didn't talk about in that video and that I won't be talking about in this video, so if you guys really enjoy this and you want to see a part 3 maybe in the future, be sure to let me know. Before we go any further, be sure to go follow me on Instagram and Twitter if you guys want to talk hockey somewhere other than YouTube. Links to those will be down below in the description. And of course, if you guys are new to this channel and you want to see more NHL content like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And with all that out of the way, let's get into 12 NHL records held by current players. Considering the amount of time Patrick Marleau has been playing in the National Hockey League, over 1,700 games, you would probably expect him to have an NHL record or two, but this is one that I actually completely forgot happened, and it wasn't even that long ago. On January 23rd of 2017, the San Jose Sharks were tied 1-1 in the third period against the Colorado Avalanche. And then 37-year-old Patrick Marleau exploded and had one of the most impressive single-period performances in NHL history, scoring 4 goals, all coming against a goaltender, no empty netters, tying an NHL record for the most goals scored in a single period. Marleau shares this record with a dozen other NHL players, all of which are currently retired, and the most recent example of somebody doing this aside from Marleau in 2017 was Mario Lemieux back in 1997. The poor goaltender Patty Marleau lit up for 4 goals in that third period's name is Spencer Martin. He was one of 4 goaltenders that suited up for the Avalanche in that absolutely horrendous 2016-17 season. As of right now, Martin has only ever appeared in 3 NHL games and has a career goals against average of 4.35. Patty Marleau has a lot to do with that. While the past couple of seasons, a lot of people have soured on Jonathan Quick. He hasn't been very good at all. He's nowhere near the goaltender that he once was, but that doesn't take away from the fact that Quick has had a fantastic career. He is a massive reason why the LA Kings were able to win 2 Stanley Cups in 2012 and 2014. 2012 especially, he had a ridiculous playoff run, setting an NHL record for the highest save percentage by a goaltender in a single playoff run with a minimum of 10 games played. He had a .946. Jonathan Quick was a shoo-in to win the Conn Smythe Trophy as playoffs MVP when the Kings did capture that Stanley Cup. It is one of the greatest playoff runs by not just a goaltender, but by a player in general in NHL history. Now, I am cheating here a little bit because technically Mike Green is no longer an active player. He recently retired, but until this upcoming season actually gets underway, I still sort of think of him as an active player, and why not show him some love since he did recently retire. In the 2008-2009 season with the Washington Capitals, Mike Green had an absolutely ridiculous season. In just 68 games, he put up 31 goals and 42 assists for 73 points. That season by Mike Green is the last time we've seen a defenseman in the National Hockey League score 30 or more goals in a season. In that season, Mike Green had a streak of 8 consecutive games with a goal, which is an NHL record for the longest goal streak by a defenseman in a season, and he doesn't share that record with anybody. He's the only one to have ever done it. Mike Green was absolutely nasty on the Capitals. I wonder when the next time we'll see a defenseman score 30 or more in a single season, or if it will ever happen again. If you guys had to choose one current defenseman that you think could do it, who would that be? I think I'd have to go with Zach Werenski. The Vegas Golden Knights had the best inaugural season by an expansion team in NHL history. It was absolutely incredible to watch, them going all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals and then falling short to the Capitals. As a team, they set a whole lot of records, and William Karlsson, who was a big part of their success in that season, actually set a record himself. His 43 goals in that 2017-18 season are the most by a player in an expansion team's inaugural season in NHL history. It's still so crazy to me that he went from having a career-high 9 goals with the Blue Jackets to exploding for 43 with the Golden Knights. Nobody saw that coming. And this is a record that I think William Karlsson might hold forever, because it's not like there's going to be a ton of chances for players to break it. Expansion teams don't just come around every other year. Maybe somebody on the Seattle Kraken breaks it in their first season, but I wouldn't count on it. Paul Stastny has had a real solid NHL career, over 900 games, over 700 points, but he's not exactly a guy you would expect to have an NHL record, and that's no disrespect to him, but a lot of people do forget just how good he was in his first couple of NHL seasons with the Colorado Avalanche. As a rookie in the 06-07 season, in 82 games, Paul Stastny put up 28 goals and 78 points, finished third on the Avalanche in scoring, and finished second in Calder Trophy voting. In most cases, a rookie season like that would probably win you the Calder Trophy, but unfortunately for Stastny, he was competing against Evgeny Malkin, who wound up winning the award. However, during that rookie season, Paul Stastny actually set an NHL record, which is something Malkin didn't do as a rookie, so at least he has that over him. From February 3rd of 2007 to March 17th of 2007, Paul Stastny put together a 20-game point streak, which is the longest point streak by a rookie in NHL history. That is pretty impressive considering how many players throughout NHL history have had ridiculously good rookie seasons. So I was just saying how Paul Stastny isn't exactly the type of player you would expect to have an NHL record, while Sidney Crosby on the other hand, he's the complete opposite to that, and he actually has multiple records. He was in the first video I made like this, he's going to be in this one, and realistically I could probably make an entire video alone on records that Crosby and Ovechkin hold, but I wanted to talk about a variety of different players, so this will be the only Crosby record we talk about in today's video. The Pittsburgh Penguins won back-to-back Stanley Cups in 2016 and in 2017, and Crosby was playoffs MVP both times, winning back-to-back Conn Smythe trophies. In doing this, Crosby joined the likes of Bernie Parent and Mario Lemieux as the only players in NHL history to win the Conn Smythe in 2 consecutive years. Winning back-to-back Stanley Cups is hard enough, but winning back-to-back Conn Smythe as a player is pretty insane. Dominik Kubalik had a pretty fantastic rookie season for the Chicago Blackhawks, especially considering he kinda came out of nowhere. He was the only rookie this season to score 30 goals, and he did it in just 68 games. The record that Kubalik set, however, didn't actually come in the regular season. It came in the playoffs, or technically it was the play-in round, but the NHL does qualify that as the playoffs. In Game 1 for the Blackhawks against the Oilers in the play-in round, Kubalik had a 5-point night, becoming the first rookie in NHL history to have 5 points in their playoff debut. He had a lot of people talking after that performance. It was pretty incredible. For those of you watching this video who are into collecting hockey cards, the price of Kubalik's Young Guns rookie card absolutely skyrocketed after that game. Speaking of rookies who set an NHL record in the 2020 playoffs, Thatcher Demko. He was amazing for Vancouver. In the 4 games he played in the 2020 playoffs, he had a .985 save percentage. His best performance though was most definitely Game 6 of the second round against the Vegas Golden Knights. In a 4-0 shutout victory, Thatcher Demko set an NHL record for the most saves by a goaltender in a playoff game shutout that did not go to overtime with 48. And that wasn't just an NHL record for rookies either. That was an NHL record for any goaltender in league history. If Thatcher Demko's performance in the 2020 playoffs was any sign of what's to come in the future, then the Vancouver Canucks goaltending situation should be just fine despite the fact that they lost Jacob Markstrom in free agency. Similar to Patrick Marleau, who we started off the video by talking about, Zdeno Chara has been around for a long time. He's been playing in the NHL for longer than I've been on this earth. Just an absolute freak of nature, 6'9", so it's only fitting that the NHL record he holds has to do with hits. In a regular season game on November 3rd of 1999, when Zdeno Chara was still a member of the New York Islanders, he tied Gary Roberts' record for the most hits in a single regular season game with 17. Some guys don't even lay 17 hits in an entire season, let alone in a single game. Those numbers are video game-like. It sounds like something I would do in my Be a Pro on NHL 21. Chara was hitting everything that moved that night. Overtime has only been a thing since 1983, so it makes sense that there's active players that hold records that have something to do with overtime. This record in particular is shared by 3 active NHL players, William Nylander, Alexander Ovechkin, and Andreas Athanasiou. They all share the record for the fastest goal to start an overtime at 6 seconds. As a Red Wings fan, I remember Athanasiou pulling that off vividly. It was pretty nuts. There are actually 2 other NHL players who share that record with Nylander, Athanasiou, and Ovechkin. Those players are David Legwand and Matt Sundin, but obviously they are no longer active. The run that Jordan Binnington and the St. Louis Blues put together to close out the 2018-19 season, completely turning their year around, was nothing short of spectacular, and when the playoffs rolled around, they just looked like a team that wasn't going to be denied, and they weren't. They won the Stanley Cup. In doing that, Jordan Binnington actually set an NHL record for the most wins by a rookie goaltender in a single playoff run with 16. He won every game for the Blues. A lot of you might be asking, well, what about Matt Murray? He won 2 Stanley Cups while he was still considered a rookie. Yes, he did, but in both of those playoff runs, he didn't win all 16 games because they had Marc-Andre Fleury as well. So this is an NHL record that Jordan Binnington holds all by himself, and I imagine it's going to be that way for a very long time. And now finally, this is the last record we're going to talk about in today's video, and pretty random player, right? I'm sure most of you are thinking, what NHL record does Michael Frolik hold? Yes, he's been around for a while, has 850 games played, but his career high in points is only 45, and that came as a rookie. But the NHL record he holds actually isn't a regular season record, it's a playoff record. And that record is, Michael Frolik is the all-time leader in penalty shot goals in the playoffs with 2. He's 2 for 2 on penalty shots in the postseason. Again, extremely random, right? And it's not like penalty shots happen a whole lot. The only other player in NHL history to actually attempt 2 penalty shots in the playoffs other than Michael Frolik is Matt Sundin, but he didn't go 2 for 2 like Frolik did. But that is going to wrap up today's video. Those were 12 NHL records held by active players. Like I said at the start of the video, there is actually a lot more, so if you guys want to see a part 3 to this, be sure to let me know down in the comment section. If you did enjoy the video, please be sure to leave it a like. That is the best way to show your support. And of course, if you guys are new to the channel and you want to see more NHL content like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button, and I will talk to you all in the next video.